Cell versus Metal Sonic. Death Battle. This is a weird comparison. I'm not going to lie. But we're going to dive on into a Renzo game because this is kind of a long video. So let's get on into it, Renzo gang. Comment down below who you think is going to win between Cell, Metal Sonic. Let's get it.
Cell versus Metal Sonic. Which copycat android is truly the superior model? He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. There's a monster stalking Gingertown. No one who's seen it has lived to tell the tale. All it left behind was their clothes. Something ate these people's insides, leaving only a shadow behind. A creature driven only by the need to feed. Earth's new apex predator, the ultimate life form. The Namekian Piccolo went to investigate this manslayer and discovered that it was intelligent. Its tail could unravel to absorb its hapless victims.
That's
and
nasty.
add their energy to its wretched gestalt. But the nightmare was only just beginning, because for its last trick, somehow this freak of nature knew the Kamehameha. The mystery of this creature.
I swear, growing up, everybody did the Kamehameha. I don't care who you are.
The world was terrorized by the most advanced paramilitary organization in history.
The Red Ribbon Army.
Ribbon Army. Until they got rocked by this little kung fu gremlin, Son Goku. But Red Ribbon's dream of revenge lived on within their head scientist, Dr. Gero. Hiding away in his spooky cave laboratory, Gero would go to work studying the Z fighters from afar, learning everything there was to know about them, and building a series of androids that would destroy his spiky-haired nemesis once and for all. He made a ton of them: infinite energy androids, key-absorbing androids, trucker-head androids, and
13.
Ginger androids. However,
13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Dr. Gero.
That Goku and his fellow martial artists possessed. Luckily, he had one more android left. A cute little booger so complex he'd take years after Gero's death to complete. Its name was Cell. Born from a single cell, get it? This android possessed the information of all the greatest warriors that had battled on Earth.
Literally.
When fully evolved, would become unstoppable. And with their DNA, Cell absorbed all their powers and techniques too. Common among all of them is the power to manipulate ki, or the energy that exists in all living things, and weaponize it to fire energy blasts, fly at faster than light speeds, move things with telekinesis, and create force fields. From the humans, Krillin and Tien, Cell knows the multiform technique, Destructo Disc, and the Tri-Beam. His extra special favorite. Oh, weird, I'm not seeing Chaozu on this list. Sorry, bud. Is Chaozu human?
Chaozu was worthless.
Cell can fire
Chaozu was so worthless.
In and travel through the vacuum of space with the alien genes of Frieza and his father. And because he's got Piccolo's DNA, Cell can regenerate humongous damage to his body at the cost of some ki. Cell has survived having half his body vaporized multiple times, and cannot be destroyed unless the small cluster of cells at the core of his being is eradicated. Should that little bugger survive, Cell will always return, even stronger than before, because of the Saiyan DNA he got from Goku and Vegeta. Definitely the cream of the
I am the
crop.
cream of the crop.
Perfectly replicate attacks like the Gallic Gun, Spirit Bomb, and of course Kamehameha, as well as teleport by locking onto a living being.
Special beam cannon.
The best part of being a Saiyan is how much crazy stronger they get every time they almost die. They can even evolve to become orders of magnitude stronger in the midst of battle. Combine that with Cell's healing factor, and he's effectively the ultimate warrior. Like a perpetual shonen motion machine. Driven by a biological imperative, Cell wanted nothing more than to devour Gero's previous androids, 17 and 18, believing it would make him perfect. Only one problem. The Cell we know was born in the future, and both 17 and 18 had been destroyed. So he murdered Trunks and went back in time. Not our Trunks, future Trunks. Well, not future Trunks, but another future Trunks.
Yeah, another future
Very
Trunks.
complicated. There's like 5
yeah.
timelines. As Cell defeated and absorbed the androids, he evolved. Not only getting stronger, but changing his personality and developing a lust for battle. He became less creepy bug serial killer and more, well, Saiyan. After exploiting that very
Imperfect
same arrogance
Cell.
and warrior's pride, Cell finally became perfect and easily dominated Trunks and Vegeta, the latter of whom had decades of battle experience under his belt. Perfect Cell's power was off the charts. He could threaten the whole Earth just by powering up. With a full power Kamehameha, he was even capable of destroying our entire solar system.
The solar Kamehameha.
The system's mass is located in the sun. This still means that Cell's key wave would have to reach 2.8 billion miles to eradicate every planet. But Wiz, maybe he was just exaggerating. Not likely. Cell's claim has been backed up in multiple guidebooks and even demonstrated outright in the video games. Cell's even stronger in the anime adaptation, considering the time Frieza blew up Namek. In the anime, the explosion was literally hundreds of light years wide and lit up the friggin' galaxy.
That's
Cell
crazy.
was far stronger than Frieza was at that point in time.
Of
Hell, it
course.
could sense him all the way from a different galaxy.
Of course, he's
Like
stronger
that
than
threat to the
Frieza.
whole universe. He's also incredibly fast, capable of blitzing even the strongest Z fighters at the time. Goku flew from Grand Kai's planet of heaven all the way to hell, hundreds of billions of light years in half a minute. And that was in his base form. Yeah, that's cool, but how about the power to squeeze Mini Cell Juniors out of your butt? What? Never heard of that key technique? Call it the Kegel. Perfect Cell was
Shut
entirely
up.
without power, and, no longer wedded to Jiro's petty grudge, decided to prove it with a tournament.
The Cell games. I used to love playing the Cell games in the Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Couldn't even handle a Cell Junior. Their last hope was Goku's own son, Gohan.
And that was a survival tournament too, so
Gohan unleashed his rage.
you took a lot of damage, you lost.
Absolute limits and beat him. Wow, Cell, you really are related to Vegeta, aren't you? In truth, Cell was a victim of his own success. The same Saiyan genes that made him
Ugh.
all powerful.
When he regurgitated
also
18, that was
superseded his
disgusting.
defeat. He got so mad, he even blew himself up. Maybe he does have some Chaozu in him after all. Even that wasn't enough to totally put him down, and he came back with the same Super Saiyan power-up that Gohan had just unlocked. Super Perfect Cell! Now with more lightning, in a battle for the ages, Cell put the entire weight of his biological programming against one lone Saiyan, and went the distance. But in the end, it still wasn't enough. No matter how brilliantly Dr. Gero copied the Z-Fighters, he still couldn't quite figure out their knack for going beyond. What
Exactly.
can be destroyed can always be rebuilt. All it takes to recreate the most
I still ain't watched that
fearsome
Super
warrior in the universe
Cell,
is one
Super
single
Dragon Ball
Cell.
superhero movie. Personally, I'm kind of getting tired of Dragon Ball
Real
Z.
quick, did you know Death Metal launched their own tabletop gaming
And that was
channel?
my favorite
It's called
anime.
You Begin
Be honest with you.
Eggman. If he couldn't defeat the Blue Blur, he would make his own Metal Sonic.
Metal
Zero
Sonic.
points on creativity for that name, but goddamn, he does look metal as hell. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so Eggman built Metal with more than enough blast processing to match his prototype. Metal can zoom around at massively hypersonic speeds, fast enough to fly to nearby planets in seconds. He's tougher than Eggman's standard equipment, some of which can survive black holes. Metal
mean,
can use
obviously.
all of Sonic's power-ups, and even replicate his classic spin dash and light speed attack. But he's got moves of his own. He can attack with energy blast, fire a chest laser, surround himself in an electric aura, or an impenetrable force field. By overloading his circuitry with energy, Metal can activate V maximum overdrive, quadrupling his acceleration and obliterating anything in his path. At the risk of self-destructing. You'd think all that'd be enough to turn the rodent into roadkill, but it only took one showdown on Stardust Speedway to send Metal to the scrap heap. On paper, Metal should be able to outmatch Sonic in every way, and
Yeah.
yet he doesn't. For some reason, Eggman wasn't able to capture that ineffable quality that makes Sonic the fastest thing alive. Metal's defeats at the hands of Sonic and his friends sharpened his AI into a seething hatred of his rival and a burning desire to prove himself superior. Yeah, well, when you're getting your supersized red ass handed to you by Charmy B, you know something's gone horribly wrong. Metal's defeats gave him an existential crisis. If he was created to surpass Sonic and couldn't even manage that, what was he? Why should he exist? Never one to admit defeat, Eggman took Metal back to the drawing board and birthed him anew. You. This Neo Metal Sonic was, above all, far smarter. Especially after he copied Eggman's intelligence and took over his empire. And we mean literally copied. If Metal started as Sonic's copycat, why not hunt all of his furry friends down and copy them too?
Yeah,
Metal Sonic is
that make a lot of
scanners
sense.
in his optic receptors that can copy a person's biodata, giving him the ability to recreate all of their abilities in seconds. Like the Sonic Boom, Knuckles' Hammer Punch, Tails' magical swiveling asshole, and Big's ability to suck at fishing. Metal isn't just learning their moves, he can replicate more esoteric powers like Silver Psychokinesis, manufacture Rouge's mechanical bat guards, or alter his very biology to copy Espio's chameleon invisibility. It's worth mentioning that biological data is a real scientific term and can refer to molecular structures like the genome sequence within a living organism's DNA. Yeah, his copying is so busted, it doesn't really matter that he's a robot made of metal. If you can do it, so can he. Probably helps that he can shapeshift and regenerate his whole body from a puddle. Likely by copying one of the mightiest beings on the planet, the god of destruction, Chaos. Not the only chaos he's encountered. By scanning the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog, he gained his ability to manipulate some of the most powerful artifacts in the universe. You mean the Chaos Emeralds? Yes. The emeralds contain an infinite wellspring of mystical power and life energy. With them, Metal can perform Shadow's chaos control. He can teleport, warp, and distort space, boost his speed, and stop time. And with either the Chaos Emeralds or Master Emerald, he can transform into Super Neo Metal Sonic. Completely invulnerable and completely golden, Super Neo Metal Sonic can move at faster than light speeds and has the power to move continents. The Emeralds are inconceivably powerful. They've been used to fuel Eggman's Death Egg, which could obliterate star systems. On their own, they can even create and destroy whole universes. Other super characters like Sonic have battled and defeated beings like the Time Eater, who could destroy multiple dimensions and timelines in seconds. At their peak, 3 Super Hedgehogs have even fought Solaris, who nearly consumed Sonic's entire multiverse. So Super Neo Metal Sonic should be just as powerful as any of them, though he's gotta be quick, because all that power only lasts a short time. The road to total domination was nearly at an end. After manipulating Sonic and friends and copying their abilities, Metal eventually combined their biodata with the mighty Egg Fleet and became Metal Overlord. Complete with missiles, giant crystal projectiles, and the strength to match 3 supersonic heroes all by himself, Overlord is all-time final boss material. And he knew it. His ego might as well...
yeah.
Metal's drive to surpass his rival had morphed into the delusional belief that he was the original, and Sonic the loathsome copy. A copy that Metal had finally outclassed. All the heroes Metal had gathered had to team up to take him down. He may have stolen their abilities, but Metal never possessed the thing that made the Sonic heroes successful: their friendship and teamwork. Aw, how cute! Gag. Probably should have added some of those goddamn rails to the final boss fight, because it is impossible to land on those things. After getting trashed again, Eggman reprogrammed Metal to purge any bits of rebelliousness from his code. Metal returned to being the Eggman Army's chief enforcer, always proving invaluable as the Bad Doctor's greatest creation, now completely obedient once again. I don't know, Wiz. Who knows what's really going on behind those glowing red eyes? Maybe Metal is more cunning than he lets on, and is only biding his time until he can take over again.
He kind of reminds me of Metabee from Metabots.
Metal copied was the ability.
If you know, you know. Metabots, Metabee. That's who he remind me of.
Hey, I'm Chad, the voice of Boo.
That's who Metal Sonic remind me of. Metabee.
While you're there, make sure you check out. Want to hear your pitches? Thanks.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities. It's time for a death battle!
I didn't think about this, but this was a pretty good, matchup. Because I was like, Cell and Metal Sonic. I'm like, okay. But now that they explain it really good for both, it was a pretty good matchup. I still got Cell winning this, though. I'm sorry, Cell.
Dr. Robotnik, your reputation precedes you. Bring me your strongest fighter or face... Then prepare to kneel before your master. Perfect.
Smack. Let's go, Cell. And to be honest with you, Sonic and Dragon Ball Z does have a lot of comparisons. Like, for example, Mewtwo can pretty much be like a Frieza or a Beerus. Sonic and Super Sonic, Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, Knuckles, Vegeta. I think Tails would be more like Gohan or something like that. There's a lot of comparisons, and Silver the Hedgehog is basically Trunks from the future Trunks.
Tell me, does a machine like yourself ever experience fear? Not anymore.
I still got Cell winning though.
Fool, you're dealing with the ultimate life form. I already possess his data. Observe chaos. Gun. Draw. Life form data successfully copied. Scan. It'll take more than that to kill me, puppet! I know. Now I know everything about you, insect.
And the crazy thing is Cell really is an insect. That's the funny thing. Cell Juniors. Okay, this is the ultimate battle. Okay. Tri-beam. It's gonna take a lot to put Cell down, bro. I'm telling you. It's gonna take a lot to put Cell down. The Solar Kamehameha.
I am not just the greatest warrior in the universe. I am all of them. If you are all of them, then so am I. I'll never lose to a machine like...
I mean, but ain't you? I know Cell ain't about to lose to Metal Sonic. Wow, Cell lost to Metal Sonic.
Now Metal's got all the powers of the Chaos Emeralds.
Wow.
Fighters? Well, that world's fucked.
That's crazy.
Cell may have been one of the greatest
That's
threats in Dragon Ball
crazy,
Z,
bro.
But Eggman's greatest creation ultimately proved too much for him. Let's break this down into 4 categories: strength, speed, abilities, and adaptation.
First up, who was the strongest? Well, it's no surprise that any version of Cell was gonna be way more powerful than base Metal or Neo. Even just using the manga, blowing up a solar system is far beyond the level of power output Metal can match.
Without his stronger forms. With them, the power gap entirely reversed. Not only could Metal match Cell's solar system busting or scaling from Frieza, but he could surpass it with the universe-destroying power of the Emeralds.
But hang on, Wiz. Those Namekians said that Cell was strong enough to threaten a universe on his own.
They did, but they didn't specify how, and there's nothing suggesting he could destroy it in one go, especially since it's only brought up theoretically and without any time frame.
Even being generous and assuming he could just blow it up, final bosses like Time Eater and Solaris can destroy the wider multiverse, and Super Neo Metal would scale to them. Metal Sonic takes the edge in strength.
And with Sonic characters being known for their speed, you might think that was an easy win for Metal.
At his max speed in his super form, he should be comparable to entities like the Time Eater, who in Shadow Generations can destroy entire universes in seconds. By using the radius of the observable universe, we can estimate the Time Eater's destructive wave traveled at about 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Certainly impressive, but let's compare that
Quadrillion.
to Goku's flight from heaven to hell shortly after the Cell games, which covered roughly a universe in distance at approximately 180 quadrillion times faster than light.
Hey, just like Time Eater. The difference, though, was that Goku was in his base form, way slower than Super Saiyan 2 Gohan or Super Perfect Cell.
Factoring in Super Saiyan multipliers, Super Perfect Cell can move upwards of 100 times faster than that, and so 100 times faster than Metal Sonic. Somehow, Cell takes the edge in speed. You know, the thing Metal was designed for.
Wasn't expecting that. Let's see if any of their abilities could tip the scales.
They shared many of the same powers, like telekinesis, force fields, and energy projectiles. Of note though, Cell's regeneration was clearly superior, able to fully heal from a single cluster of microscopic cells.
On top of that, Cell's Saiyan genes would let him grow in power every time he almost died, and his Cell Juniors gave him the numbers advantage.
And considering Super Neo Metal had a time limit, Cell would have a big advantage in a battle of attrition.
But with Chaos Control, that became a lot tougher.
Cell and his juniors had no way to deal with Metal boosting his speed or stopping time, something that countered Cell's speed advantage and left him open. And with Silver's Psychokinesis, or the Emerald Spatial Distortion, Metal could seriously impair Cell's healing.
So it helped that Cell could fall back on his martial arts abilities in a pinch.
Despite effectively being a newborn, Cell's genetic instincts allowed him to best Earth's most skilled warriors back to back to back.
Metal may have copied Eggman's brains, but he definitely isn't as good of a fighter. The Sonic heroes haven't trained like the Z fighters, and Metal's been beaten by all of them a bunch of times. So all that in mind, abilities is roughly a wash.
Which leaves us with the one thing they're both known for, their capability to evolve and become more powerful in response to their opponents, aka their adaptation.
And frankly, that's where this back and forth completely breaks. Because at the end of the day, Metal can copy Cell, but Cell can't absorb Metal.
Cell's ability to physically absorb an opponent is primarily viable against foes he can match or overpower.
Even if he took Metal by surprise, he can't absorb fully inorganic robots like Android 16.
Cell was only able to absorb Android 17 and 18 because they were primarily organic.
They're actually more like cyborgs and are only called androids in the English translation.
Metal, on the other hand, can copy a target's biodata through only a few seconds of direct eyesight, something he could easily accomplish during a time stop.
And using it on Cell means he wouldn't just get Cell's powers, but the powers of all of the Z Warriors too.
Remember, Metal's copying applies to abilities that fundamentally affect his own biology, like Espio's invincibility or Chaos's liquid body. Nothing Cell has would be off limits, especially given all of Cell's powers were genetically encoded in the first place, quite literally biodata.
Cell's Saiyan power-ups? Copied. Cell's
Yep.
regeneration?
Copied.
Cell's key techniques?
Copied.
Believe it or not, copied.
Chaos Emeralds are described as being able to produce life energy, similar to Ki. So there's a precedent for him being able to replicate Cell's power set. And at this point, there's nothing stopping Metal from, say, stopping time and using a Kamehameha to vaporize him at a cellular level. Just like Gohan did.
Cell might be able to do anything the Z fighters know how to do, but that's not gonna help him, because Metal can do anything Cell knows how to do. Strange, isn't it?
Cell just doesn't have any options to retaliate that Metal wouldn't also possess, including any of his previous advantages. Metal's copy ability is just that
I
overpowered.
get it, but
I guess now I get why they called it Sonic CD.
Why's that?
Cell died. Where's he? You get it? CD? Wiz? Where you go? Come on, man.
really, boomstick.
Next time on Death Battle.
What's next? Who this is? Who this is? I can't tell.
Subscribe and join as a member to
Oh,
for
Bakugo!
watching.
Oh, we got Bakugo. Oh, man. That's going to be good. Wow. Renzo gang. That was a pretty good matchup. I'm actually glad that they, clarified this because I was like, why Cell and Metal Sonic? But Renzo gang, comment down below who you thought, if I can't talk. Comment down below if your pick won. That's crazy, Renzo gang. I love these death battles. That's why I love giving these to y'all. I'm a nerd just like y'all are nerds. But that's all I got for today, Renzo gang. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all next time. You feel me?